Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. Yes, it is late at night, and I am filming in the rain again. Just why? Well, I did this for when I did my review for the Suicide Squad, and since this movie has quite a bit of rain in it, even though it takes place mostly indoors, but I figured, why not? This time it is going to be on The Whale. BrendanFraser's big comeback. There was so much anticipation surrounding this movie because BrendanFraser is a really big actor who was big back in the days, but we haven't heard from him since, but he is back now. And he plays a very, very overweight man who has had a complicated past. Well, kind of a dramatic one. I mean, he left his family behind for this one man. While being with this man, he dies, and I'm not going to explain why because that would be spoilers. But he lives alone. He has a nurse who takes care of him, but he is not doing so well due to how much he eats and how he's been alone for so many years. He then decides to reunite with his daughter, but things don't go that well as his daughter really isn't that happy to see him. And there's tons of reasons why. Yeah, it's a lot darker than you think. Though it's dark enough, I mean. But this film is directed by Directorial, who I am a fan of. He's directed such very creepy, disturbing, yet very excellently made films, like Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, Mother. Yeah, he is known for very disturbing yet depressing films, and this is definitely one of them, though it's not disturbing in a gory fashion. Yeah, a lot of people like BrendanFraser in terms of his filmography. There's times in this movie where the movie focuses a lot about being honest. Specifically, BrendanFraser's character wants characters to be honest with him because he's a teacher in the movie. He's basically an online teacher pretty much, and there's times where he wants people to be honest. And I am going to be completely honest. I'm not a big fan of BrendanFraser. That's not to say I hate him. I do not hate him at all. I'm just saying I'm not much of a fan of his past work. I didn't really get that big into the Mummy movies. Like, they never really intrigued me that much to just completely, like, fully watch them. Like, I pretty much watched the ending of one of them, and it didn't really convince me to watch the other ones. I didn't really like George of the Jungle that much. I used to like Looney Tunes Back in Action, but I don't anymore, which is weird because I thought Space Jam: A New Legacy was okay. And I don't like Looney Tunes Back in Action, so hey, I have unpopular opinions too, so don't at me. And I think we can all agree that Furry Vengeance was god-awful. But he's done a lot more than that. There is some movies of his that I have missed, so maybe it's just I'm not looking at the type of movies that I would like. And this is definitely the type of movie that I see myself probably enjoying, and after watching this movie, I think this movie actually might have turned me into more of a fan of BrendanFraser's work, because he seems like a nice guy in real life. I mean, a lot of people like him, a lot of people support him, and seeing how he made it really big this year, not just for antiquing this role, but because they had so much nostalgia for his past films. So yeah, it's safe to say it was one of the biggest comebacks of the year. And needless to say, he definitely delivered with this one. And I love how when he was coming back, he wasn't just going to do another ridiculous action film or a comedy film. No, he just decided to partner up with A24, which was a very smart decision. And he took so many risks with this role, like, oh my god. Now, yes, he is very big in this movie, but I had to do some research, and no, he didn't. He's not, like, he didn't gain weight for this role. No, they used a suit. It's not CGI or anything like that. Like, I made sure that, because if he did gain weight for this role, then yeah, that definitely would not have gone well. Because while watching this movie, you can see him suffering throughout. Because, oh my god, like, I just felt bad because not only was he by himself, but the fact that he's just eating all this, and he doesn't stop too. He still eats in this movie. And the moments where he does eat, I was actually terrified because I did not want this character to die, because not only is BrendanFraser terrific in this movie, but it's a very, like, heavy film about his struggles in his past. Like, he had to leave his family. Well, he didn't have to, but he basically changed his, like, I don't know how to put it, like, his interest in certain people. Basically, he turns gay, pretty much. but we don't see that throughout the entire film. There's also other characters in the film too, like the nurse, who I also thought was very strong in the movie. I feel like all the characters are actually very well developed. Like, they have a strong depth to them, and it had me really caring a lot. Though the daughter character, I'm sort of mixed on, because while you definitely see why she would be mad at his father, there are just times in the movie where she just wants him flat out dead, and she just doesn't care of how overweight. She even calls him fat. It's kind of hard to, like, sometimes it can be hard whether you agree with her or not, but there are times where Brendan Fraser, whose name is Charlie in the movie, just doesn't care. He just wants to be more of a positive guy, and I can definitely see that. Despite the fact that he doesn't want to go to a hospital or anything like that, you definitely worry about him even more. Like, he just refuses to go to a hospital, and he doesn't even use money, except for, like, just buying pizza and stuff like that. Like, he has a lot of money saved, but he tries... Okay. Again, I should not go further into it, because there was actually a bit more to this movie that I wanted to talk about than I originally anticipated. The best way I could describe this film is that if you're a fan of Brendan Fraser, but you're not a fan of, like, very deep emotional stuff, then I don't know if I should recommend it, even if you are a fan of the film, because this movie can, like, this is Darren Aronofsky. You got to remember, this is Darren Aronofsky, and he does not take lightly to uplifting films. No. If you ever saw Requiem for a Dream, like, that movie probably still traumatized you even after thinking about it. And like I said, Mother is probably one of the most bizarre movies I have ever seen. Like, I rewatched it, and yeah, it was just as disturbing as I remember. But still, probably why critics aren't giving this movie as much love as audiences are. I mean, I think we can definitely agree that Brendan Fraser was incredible in this movie. It's just, maybe it's just not going to be for everyone due to how, you know, how many themes it pokes in here in terms of the matter of him being separated from his family when he really didn't have to. But what really makes this movie work is just how Brendan Fraser portrays this man who has just gone through so much, who has just been separated from his loved ones and has just been suffering a lot. There is rarely ever a time where the movie just lifts up your spirits, because that's not what it tries to do. The movie manages to get you to care for these characters, especially Brendan Fraser, because he is suffering a lot. And really, Brendan Fraser he adds so much emotion that it probably took him a really long time to get this performance done. And a lot of people have been talking about Oscar buzz for his role, and I feel like he definitely deserves a nomination for this role, because he just adds in so much to this. He probably gives one of the best performances of the year. In fact, I can definitely say he does. Well, it's not quite my favorite film from Darren Aronofsky, and I probably wouldn't rewatch it as much as... I don't even know where to start, because Darren Aronofsky's films aren't really that rewatchable, because, like I mentioned before. So yeah, on the one hand, it's Brendan Fraser, and a lot of people love Brendan Fraser. But on the other hand, it's Darren Aronofsky, and he's known for disturbing shit. But in the end, guys, for me, The Whale was just what I was hoping for, and plus, I even liked it a lot more than that. The movie never felt slow, even when it focused on other characters, because there's this other male character who's supposed to be like a church boy who comes to visit once in a while, and he wasn't entirely pointless too. He actually had more of a purpose, and who's also played by Ty Simpkins, who was in the Insidious movies, which I didn't even notice until the credits rolled. So it's nice to see him do other stuff after Insidious, because wow, he has grown. But yeah, The Whale was just what I was hoping for. It has by far one of the strongest performances of the year, and one of the best comebacks to an actor. And I highly recommend it for fans of the guy. If you're a massive Brendan Fraser fan, if you don't care if the movie is probably going to make you cry, because it more than likely will. It definitely made me a little bit. So yeah, it's all just really going to depend if it's going to be fully worth it for you. But yeah, just a reminder, the director still hasn't had the best rap when it comes to uplifting films, because he definitely has a unique trademark here, and he definitely shows it here. So yeah, it's also based off of a stage play, and yeah, this definitely feels like a good adaptation of a stage play, even though I never saw it. But I definitely see something like that going to a big screen, and I'm glad it did come to the big screen, because if it didn't, we probably wouldn't have gotten BrendanFraser back. So it's safe to say that I'm probably a fan of him now. So yeah, welcome back, Mr. Fraser. You have done a great job. Yeah, no, I'm doing this after my top 20 best of the year list, but would it have made my list? Probably, but I can't redo that list now because I'm not going to redo my list just to put another movie on. But hey, I guess it's safe to say that it's a great film. Definitely check it out. Yeah, I'm doing this during New Year's Eve. I'm reviewing this movie during New Year's Eve, and it's not New Year's yet, but I don't have that many movies to see in January because, I mean, I will be seeing Megan, because a lot of people have been talking buzz about that. It's probably not going to be that good, but I'm going to see it anyway. I mean, it's a January horror movie, but yeah. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys had a great year, even though it still wasn't that great of a year. I don't have that much anticipation for 2023, but we'll just have to see. But I still have other plans in the future for videos that aren't just reviews. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.